Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to Economic and Political Weekly's live session. I am Divya Jyoti, and today we have with us our very own editor, TK Arun. The topic of today's discussion is the emergence of Cockroach Janta Party, and as we all know that this particular movement is a satirical response, and it has also garnered massive support online. Also staging a protest at Jantar Mantar on the 6th of June, demanding the resignation of Union Education Minister. We have also seen that this movement is a sort of an outpouring like response to the popular frustrations and anger amongst the youth regarding unemployment, inflation, poverty, Achhe Din, Viksit Bharat. A lot of these issues have also been raised by our opposition. Now, I would like to start the evening with this question. That is, how has this Cockroach Janta Party been able to indict the opposition and the national media for their perceived lack of accountability and inability to act and offer a coherent alternate vision? Uh, Now that we also see that they have staged a protest on the 6th of June. So, do we see a structure emerging capable of like offering an alternative to the opposition?
I would say that is going too far beyond the realm of actual probability right now.
Hmm.
As you said, this is an outpouring of popular frustration with the government
Hmm.
and also with the opposition.
Yeah.
After all, these issues are being raised by the opposition also. If the exams are getting cancelled, being vitiated, it matters to the people, and so the opposition has raised the issue. But somehow, the people at large, especially those who are rallying behind the Cockroach Janta Party, they do not have the feeling, the faith that the opposition would be able to hold this government to account. Nor do they have faith in the media. There's one of the demands of the Cockroach Janta Party is to remove the Godi media
Yeah.
against corporate houses' ownership of media. So it is actually as much a vote of no confidence in the media and the opposition as it is a vote of no confidence in the government. So this is what we see. And as we have seen, while some opposition parties have in fact come to offer support and solidarity with these demonstrators, the main opposition, the Congress, chose to stay far away. Now, one doesn't know what will happen. See, a political party by definition is an organization that tries to capture state power. It may be a small party, a large party, but even a small party, in the sense that it specifies its aim as capture of state power, is very different in its nature from a large political organization, say, such as a trade union,
Hmm.
which might have political orientations, political affiliations, but still, it's not a trade union's job to try and capture state power, whereas a political party tries to capture state power. So, whether the Cockroach Janata Party, while it is called itself a party, will become a proper political party, or will it stay as a pressure point, as a pressure group, or a campaign platform, or a forum for people to express their frustration? We don't know. Now they say that they will take it forward and form a political party, but then that remains to be seen. See, ultimately, we have seen these kind of movements happen in the past.
Hmm.
There was this anti-corruption campaign before the
Yeah.
emergency, the Gujarat Navadurman movement,
Yeah.
which was a widely popular movement that spread from Gujarat to across the country to Bihar.
Hmm.
But then it didn't actually result in a political party. There was a JP movement,
Hmm.
and that did not actually yield a party.
Hmm.
Only after the declaration of emergency
Hmm.
and when the emergency was lifted did these kind of groupings coalesce around the Janata Party. Then again, we saw another campaign against corruption in
11.
2013.
Yeah.
Uh,
11.
I mean,
2011. Yeah.
11. That
Yeah.
finally culminated in the
Yes.
2013 protests, Anna
Yeah.
Hazare led India Against
Yes.
Corruption protests. and that led to the formation of the uh,
Hmm.
Aam Aadmi Party.
Hmm.
But the Aam Aadmi Party had a fairly strong preparation
Hmm.
behind it. Arun
Hmm.
Kejriwal been running in a non-government organization called Parivartan for a long time.
Hmm.
So there was some organizational backbone, skeleton, on which he added then subsequently flesh and blood and muscle, and that became the party. So whether this will become a party or not, we don't know.
Hmm.
If it does, well and good. In a democracy, in a multi-political party polity like ours, it is good to have different voices come up and give their opinion, especially given the fairly uh, helpless situation in which the main opposition finds itself. So it is a welcome development, but whether it will go beyond airing protests to do something more tangible towards forming a political party that tries to capture state power, we don't know. That remains to be seen.
Yeah. So, like as you also mentioned that there are comparisons being made between the India Against Corruption movement led by Anna Hazare in 2011 and the Cockroach Janta Party. So, how can we look at this entire scenario critically? This entire the comparisons that are being drawn between the two critically, and what do you think about the public discontent and frustrations in India back then and now?
So the public discontent has been fairly strong, even now and then again when the India Against Corruption took root. However, the India Against Corruption movement did actually have a sponsor working behind the scenes. Subsequently, it has been revealed that the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and its affiliate organizations played a major role in launching the India Against Corruption campaign and sustaining it.
Yeah.
It had organized a fund collection, people who were supporting it in a
Mm.
fairly substantial fashion. It had a figurehead in this Anna Hazare, and
Yeah.
there were people who were being mobilized to uh, sustain this as a protest in
Mm.
a venue. Large numbers of people being brought over from different parts of the, at least North India around Delhi. So it was a more organized affair. So far, there is no sign of such organization behind this Cockroach Janta Party. So that is one major difference.
Yeah. So moving on to my another question, which is that how can one look at the virality of this movement, which is initially built at on the digital solidarity, getting translated into offline movement being capable of a collective political action?
So it still hasn't made that transition.
Hmm.
It is still principally online. There was one demonstration by the party
Yeah.
offline, and that was not, it did not rally lakhs of people.
Hmm.
Okay, a fairly sizable number of people did turn up,
Hmm.
and people came from different parts of the country. I was
Hmm.
surprised. According to Deepke's press conference,
Hmm.
there were
Hmm.
people who had come from Kashmir, from Bihar, from. So that is a sign of it having purchase among different parts of the country, among different sections of the people. But still, that is different from, say, a very strong, solid offline movement. That is yet to be seen and yet to crystallize. So, for example, we had the farmers' march on Delhi uh, against the three farm laws, which the march was so sustained and so powerful that the government finally had to drop those three laws. And we haven't had any further move on reforming agriculture policy subsequently.
Hmm.
So, so that was a real powerful movement on the ground, which put pressure on the government. Do we see anything like that in the Cockroach Janta Party as of now? Not really. So it is not yet an offline movement of any significant scale. But unlike then, now the online presence is actually much stronger in the world, in India. We are
Yeah.
one of the largest consumers of online data in the world, and the ability of people to mobilize, to rally, to come together and give their form their opinions and articulate their vision is much stronger now than it was in the past. So and especially among the target population of the youth,
Hmm.
this is much more of a reality than it ever was in the past. So one cannot rule out the possibility of this Cockroach Janta Party transitioning to a more powerful, sustained movement which has a presence on the ground as well. So while we don't rule it out, it will be premature to say that it is actually become that now or will definitely become that in the future. We can't say that.
Yeah, eventually, I think that like even though the movement has become very popular, but we should not we should not think like it as being a victory. We should still, sort of take some time and critically reflect on how the movement is progressing and what all things are happening. So, keeping that in mind, there is also a widespread notion that India could witness something similar to Gen Z protests that happened in Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Which again led to the toppling of the political regime. But given that India's socio-political fabric, and it is a country which has remained deeply fragmented on the basis of caste, religion, language, regional loyalties, and partisan identities, do you think it is possible to have something similar in India?
I don't think that is possible.
Hmm.
I don't think that is the aim of this Cockroach Janata Party either. The interview that Abhijit Dipke gave to various television channels
Hmm.
has made it very clear that there is no such effort or aim on the part of the Cockroach Janta Party. Uh, and in reality, even if it had such an aim, I don't think that is it can be practically realized. The Indian state is too well entrenched and articulated in different ways and too powerful to be removed by any kind of such small protest. So it will require uh, sustained effort in different parts of the country. And that has never really been the case so far.
Hmm.
India is a I mean, it's not really a well developed democracy in the sense that distribution of power among the people remains very, very unequal. And we have these elections, and that's about all. The formal process of holding elections is real,
Hmm.
however shade it might be of the election commission's attempt to revise electoral rolls in a very unscientific fashion. But that still remains functional, and government changes will ultimately take place through that route. I don't think it will take place on the streets. But action on the street, if they mobilize large numbers of people, would certainly help crystallize opinion against the government when the elections come up. So I don't see any scope of a possibility of a protest overthrowing the government as happened in Sri Lanka or Nepal or Madagascar, but or Bangladesh. But
Hmm.
it could well lead to crystallization of public opinion against the government
Hmm.
if it is sustained on a large enough scale, and if the government chooses to crack down
Hmm.
uh, as the governments in the other countries that we saw Gen Z abscess take place uh, did. So I don't think that will be the case in India.
Hmm. Okay. So, I think my last question, and before posing my last question, I would request the audience to please put in their questions via chats. And yeah, so my last question to you, sir, would be that what is so remarkable about the Cockroach Janta Party?
So there are a couple of things which are actually worthy of comment.
Hmm.
One is in taking place online, and it has received widespread uh, attention from around the world. If you look at world media,
Yeah.
everybody has given they've taken notice and they are giving their own opinions.
Yeah.
There is nothing very illuminating they have to say on this
Hmm.
beyond what we can see for ourselves. But
Hmm.
however, the fact that this has gained widespread attention and comment from around the world
Hmm.
should also help focus the government's own mind
Hmm.
on how it is performing and how the world is measuring its conduct
Hmm.
with regard to its own people. Now, we are very proud of our digital achievements, digital public infrastructure, and so on. So even conducting eligibility tests for admission to various crucial institutions and disciplines is fumbled so much. We fail to carry this out properly. That's sort of it will be highlighted in the global media thanks to the protest being organized by the Cockroach Janta Party. So the online nature of this movement makes sure that it is also visible online around the world and gets public attention across the world. And this is something that the government should also be mindful when they formulate their policies with regard to this party, with regard to protest, and with regard to the core issues which have provoked the young people to
Yeah.
stage this protest. The holding of the chest and lack of accountability
Mm.
and the unwillingness of people in charge to actually come forward and take responsibility for failure and to promise remedial action uh, in the near future.
Yeah.
And I think a second thing that is worthy of comment
Mm.
is that while you said that caste has been a dividing factor in Indian society and prevents people from coming together,
Mm.
here the caste identity of the leader, the central leader,
Yeah.
uh, has not really been an issue.
Mm.
Now, he has tweeted that he is a Dalit, but that is incidental to the current movement. This politics is not centered on the Dalit identity or Dalit problems or the oppression that Dalits in general experience in this country for the most part. However, the fact that he's a Dalit has not come in the way of people rallying around the issue he has raised and
Yeah.
offering support uh, to the cause. And that I think is a very positive development. So, I mean, this should be understood in the nature of as part of urbanization. When people urbanize and they will move away from their traditional roles in rural India, then they are actually transcending caste, and you are unable to observe the caste distinctions while leading an urban life. So, while if you are in a Mumbai train, you don't have time to worry which caste the person standing next to you belongs to.
Mm.
He is jostling against you, you are jostling against him, you're jam packed, and there is caste doesn't matter. In your office, you are doing a task, you are trying to a collective, fulfill your job in meeting a collective objective, and you're not worried about the caste of the person who is standing next to you or doing another part of the work. It's a team effort, right? So, in an urban kind of environment, caste plays a very marginal role. So finally, that is being transmitted to the realm of politics also,
Mm.
at least in terms of mobilizing opinion
Mm.
and taking up, projecting a particular issue.
Yeah.
So when single-minded movements like the earlier India against corruption took place,
Mm.
there are also people who are focusing on the issue, not on the caste identity of the people involved or the
Mm.
leaders. So herein the focus is the current the way the government mishandled the testing and the
Mm.
lack of accountability.
Yeah.
So the caste of the person who has highlighted this and chosen to crystallize opposition to this or questioning the government on this, it doesn't really matter to people who have rallied to support uh, the Cockroach Janta
Super.
Party.
Yeah.
So which is also a good thing to happen.
Mm.
So while it is difficult for a protest movement to transform into a full-fledged political party, uh, I mean, of course, you can talk about metamorphosis and
Yeah.
Kafka. Uh,
Kafka's. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but this is not Samsa as yet.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you might or might not transform
Mm.
to a political party,
Mm.
uh, but then a political party needs to have a more comprehensive, holistic view of where society is, where it needs to go, where it needs to have a political program. While it is certainly welcome that has said that this Hindu Muslim politics is futile,
Yeah.
it doesn't benefit the people and harms the people, and he stands for a secular polity, and he quoted Ambedkar to
Yeah.
say, agitate, organize, educate.
Mm.
Now, just coming together is not organization. So, assembly is the initial part of organization, but by
mm,
itself doesn't form organization. Organization goes far beyond that. Now the question is whether they will be able to actually build an organization, and then of course the more layered nature of Indian society, the problems they face, all these will come to the fore. Whether they can forge a political program that can rally people while taking up all these issues together
mm,
is which we see. If they make an honest effort and come up with something good,
yeah.
all credit to them, kudos to them. But we should not be we should not think that this will happen automatically.
Hmm.
It's a tough call, and if they achieve it, we will give them, hail them. But whether it will happen, it is difficult to say at the current stage.
Hmm. So I think so. We have two questions.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So one is the questions are from the audience. So yeah, what is the impact of such protest on government's actions, and how can the participants keep belief in such movements without any response from the government?
So it is basically the lack of response from the government which has forced this kind
Accountability.
of protest to take place,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if your belief is that one single protest will elicit a response from the government, then of course
Yeah.
you're mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to have sustained pressure on the
Hmm.
government for the government to actually act. So if the people who take part in the movement do not realize that, then
Hmm.
naturally they'll be disappointed.
Absolutely.
However,
Hmm.
it is good that these issues are being raised forcefully,
Hmm.
and the government will be forced to act on this because
Hmm.
it's a genuine issue, and the Cockroach Janta Party's support reflects the widespread popular anger over the incident that triggered this protest, and that is something the government cannot ignore. Now, whether the government will try to say that we are rectifying our own conduct, or to and prevent giving the impression that they are responding to the Cockroach Janta Party, that's
Yeah.
a political task that the government will try to do.
Hmm.
Obviously, they will try to present it as something that the government is doing on its own, uh,
Hmm.
not as something coming under pressure from uh, the Cockroach Janta Party or any the opposition parties.
Hmm.
So this is where the political communication on the part of the government and on the part of the Cockroach Janta Party will come into play.
Hmm.
If they are able to present it as something that the government would have done in any case, then
Hmm.
of course the movement will lose momentum. But
Hmm.
if it's something that the movement can claim responsibility for, any corrective action that takes place, then of course it will gain further credibility. But as I said, because it's online and it is being watched closely by media around the world,
Hmm.
uh, that itself places some restraint on the conduct of the government. So it is to be hoped that it will not try to crush the movement physically. It will not try to put it down by use of force.
Hmm.
And there are clever ways of doing it. So what will finally transfer, we don't know.
Yeah.
So, but it does matter that this opposition has come up, and the government will be forced to react. Then it's a game of political skill in how you communicate the explain the actions of the government as
Hmm.
something of its own volition, or something that is doing because it's come under pressure from the protest movement.
Hmm. And I think the other question is mostly about the political strategy of CJP, which is like how can the Cockroach Janta Party survive negative narratives? And will it be more effective if the party just focuses on raising issues instead of becoming a political party? I think it's more of a how they should go ahead in terms of political strategy and mobilization.
So, like I said, raising issues is something the media does, right?
Yeah.
Like we raise issues,
Hmm.
uh, newspapers raise issues.
Yeah.
So, raising issues is a part of democracy,
Hmm.
but that is not just the role of the political party.
Hmm.
The political party is trying something that tries to capture political power.
Hmm.
So, by simply functioning as a platform that raises issues and draws
Hmm.
public attention to government failing,
Hmm.
yes, this movement will do play a particular role in democracy. It will be a beneficial role, but that will not be a political party.
Yeah.
Whether it wants to go beyond that, whether it is capable of going beyond that, is something that we'll have to wait and see. It's for the actors to decide how they
Mm.
will fashion their strategy.
Yeah. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the insightful conversation today. And I would request all the subscribers to and the non-subscribers to sort of subscribe to EPW. And with this, we will conclude the evening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.